Who's that? Commander Claw. Who's bad? Commander Claw. So, welcome to episode 2 of the spoilers that I got going on. If you watched the first one, please continue to watch number 2 and 3. I'm excited to bring Edge of Eternities. I do like sci-fi. I think right now the spacecrafts that can be your commanders or legendary vehicles that can be your commanders have added a new dimension to EDH. I think you guys will actually like the station mechanic. It's almost like Convoke. So, without further ado, let's talk about our first spacecraft commander. So, our first card, it is a spacecraft, and remember, spacecrafts can be your commander now. So, this is a mono white spacecraft, legendary artifact called the Seriema for 1 and double white. Legendary spacecraft. When it enters, search your library for a legendary creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle. Then it has the ability Station. Tap another creature you control, put charge counters equal to its power on that spacecraft. Station only as a sorcery. It's an artifact creature at 7 plus charge counters. So when you have 7 plus charge counters, the Siriama will have flying. It will also have other tap legendary creatures you control have indestructible. So let's see here. First of all, I think of flavor, right? I'm thinking of flavor this one. Just imagine you got a spacecraft, and this spacecraft is hiding your secret commander. And you can tutor your secret commander from your command zone because it has to be mono white now. It has to be mono white if you're running a Siriyama as your spacecraft commander. Okay. It has to be a mono white commander. So you can tutor it. Maybe you have a light pause as your secret commander. Um, then the way I look at stationing, you need to have a a powerful creature or several creatures to station it quickly. And you want it to get online, station it online, right? And you want the Seriama to be flying and your other tap legendary creatures you control have indestructible. So that means you have to be tapped and attacking or have attacked. So you're tapped to have your creatures indestructible during your combat phase. Mm. So if your creatures have vigilance, this is no good. There's no point of giving your creatures that have vigilance indestructible if they're ah, this is an interesting commander. It's okay. I think it's flavorful. You could tutor a secret commander and go wide or go tall with whatever you have going on, and protect your commander uh, by giving it, protecting your other legendary creatures by giving them indestructible, keeping them on the battlefield. That's where it's strong suited at that I see so far. This is going to be a budget friendly spacecraft. I would say at max $3. So moving on to our second card here, it looks like a dinosaur, just from the artwork, like a wooden dinosaur. Anyway, Harmonious Growth Strider is the name of it. 3 double green is a beast, star power. Lately, I've been liking star power. Anything that says your power and toughness is equal to something, equal to the amount of cards in the graveyard, amount of artifacts on the battlefield, or creatures, I've been digging it lately, just because it's more. It pushes you to put more on the battlefield or have more of it, and that creature or scenario is just kind of tough to deal with for your opponents. Back to Harmonious Growth Strider. It is a beast. It has Ward 2. Then says this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of lands you control. This creature will be great for cards that have station. So, unfortunately, you can't use it with the spacecraft we just talked about, the Siriama, all right? Because that's white and this is green. But if it's in the deck of a multicolor Wooborg, this is a really good card to station spacecraft because you at least have to have 5 mana, right? For this to be a 5/5. And you only paid 5 mana for it anyway. And it only gets bigger for each land drop you have. So, you have station 7, you have 7 lands, and this hits the battlefield for 5 mana. Oh, you can station it right away. That's just as an example. So to me, Harmonious Growth Strider is a really good station creature. So what third card we got here is a Sothera, the Super Void. 2 double black, legendary enchantment. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent chooses a creature they control and exiles it. At the beginning of your end step, if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice Sothera, then put a creature card exile with it onto the battlefield under your control with 2 additional +1/+1 counters on it. Cool. To me, this looks like a slower paced way to steal a creature from your opponent. That's what I see right here. I do think this card is tricky. You don't want to play it in the beginning. This is not one of those turn 4, turn 5 cards because it says if a player controls no creatures, sacrifice it. So that could be uh, that could be often where a player has no creatures because if they see this on the battlefield, they're going to want you to not have a creature. You will play this when the battlefield is littered with creatures, and when you lose a creature, your opponents have to exile a creature that they don't really want to exile. So the pros of this, you're putting opponents in dilemmas and making them choose which creatures to exile so you don't steal later on. So don't cast this card early. Don't do that. I can see players turn 4 play. Y'all got to remember, new Magic players, not all cards got to play on curve. That's I think when you read about cards all the time, you look at, oh, play it on curve, especially the commanders. Not all commanders are meant to play on curve. Otherwise, I can see this being. I'm not too ecstatic about this card yet. I'm saying it's in the budget category. At best, $2, $2 to $3 after a month of being released. So here we got Tanuk, Memorial Ensign for 1 red green, 2/4 legendary Kavu pilot. I haven't seen a Kavu since Mercadian Mask. And I used to play with the Kavu Monarch. My God. Shit. Well, no, that's live. What's that? There's a red Kavu, something Defiler of Instinct. Yeah. Okay. So I lied. But anyway, Kavu in general, that's an old creature type. This one has landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, Tanuk deals 1 damage to each opponent. If this is the second time this ability has resolved this turn, draw a card. Okay. To be honest with you, this is a uncommon. I'm definitely not using this as my commander. He's definitely going into 99, especially in a Gruul commander with landfall, like we just did with Gladulus Amasatia from Final Fantasy. Yeah, he would definitely go in that. Mm, Tanuk, he's kind of able to finish off opponent. That's the way I look at it. And he only gets better with damage multipliers. Whenever you drop a land, instead of it doing 1 damage, maybe it does 2, maybe it does 3. Yeah. That's the way I see him. Ain't nothing else to say about this guy. Okay, so this is from the artwork itself. I think that is misleading. For it to be a legendary artifact spacecraft. So the artwork and spacecraft, I'm like, do I want this as my commander and it's colorless? Oh, I'm grimacing so far, but let's read the card. The Eternity Elevator for 5 mana legendary artifact spacecraft. Tap it, add 3 colorless. Station. Tap another creature you control, put charge counters equal to its power on the spacecraft station only as a sorcery. Then for 20 plus charge counters, add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters on the Eternity Elevator. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to pause this video for a second because I think this is actually slick nasty. Slick nasty. So hear me out on these ideas. First idea, artifact creatures. You know this, right? You can have an artifact deck, right? You got to stick with colorless. Then second idea, you got Eldrazi's, right? That's going to be obvious. You can have a five mana artifact that taps for 3 mana, allows you to tap 3 mana to cast those Eldrazi spells, right? But what it gets really interesting is there's a thing called mana filtering where your lands, you've seen some of these lands out here. You tap 1 mana and you add 1 mana of any color. Right. I haven't thought about ways of stealing your opponent's spells and colorless. I wonder if that's a way. But there are plenty of artifacts out here that have crazy abilities. One, like the planar portal, you get to tutor anything from your deck and put it onto the battlefield, right? That's one option, right? But what are you going to do with 20 mana? you can do so much. So there's going to be infinite mana combos probably because you're definitely positive on the mana rocks. If you got 20 mana to tap into something, uh, there's ways to create infinite creatures if you have unlimited mana. Now, I bet you there's going to be some way in this set to create infinite robots. We just saw Tezzeret the Cool Captain. If you watched episode 1, that's what I call him, Tezzeret the Cool Captain. Um, I think this is slick nasty. Then there's what is the colors Eldrazi that doubles triggers? It's something archaic. Abstruse archaic. Yeah, so if you could double ability as colorless sources, ooh, then you still got artifact equipments out here. Yeah, yeah. I think this is going to have a bunch of interesting builds. I'm actually going to bet this card is going to be expensive. Uh, this is going to be a $10 card. I bet. I bet. A month later, it's going to be a $10 card. Easy. So, look, thank you for sticking around to the end of episode 2. Let's not hold you back anymore. Go ahead and click this video on the right-hand side. Episode 3 of the spoiler season I got going on for y'all. Hopefully, y'all enjoying it. Hopefully, y'all see what I'm brewing. I'm doing these spoilers from the top of my dome. So, let's go.